Good morning, YouTube man. All the way George page coming to you live on YouTube. Well, I saw this on a website called womenboxing.com, and it was posted on Friday that women's lightweight champion Kayla Taylor will be facing her another fighter coming up in November the 14th by the name of Miriam Gutierrez. Now, Taylor is 16-0. And she lost last fought like a while ago against Daphne Passoon for the second fight. And originally she supposed to have faced Amanda Real Deal Serrano, but because of whatever reason mostly it was a money issue, Eddie Hearn, evil Eddie Hearn, like we like to call him, didn't want to pay Serrano, a little extra for her to come over to the UK, set up house, and get ready for a fight against Taylor. So that fight was canceled. So it said they decided to go and had the rematch with Daphne Passoon, which Taylor won, this time without no controversy over United decision over Passoon. Now, Miriam Gutierrez, who's Katie's opponent, is from Spain. Now, she is herself 13-0. She's undefeated. Her record is just about like Taylor's, 13 fights with 5 wins. She last fought about a year ago, November 29th, 2019. And, she was fighting at least 5 fights that year. And she holds the interim title for the lightweight division. And, and she's in fact, she is the mandatory opponent for Katie Taylor. Now, this is a fight that's going to probably, certify that make Taylor the WBA women's lightweight champion. As you know, Taylor holds several titles. She holds the WBC, WBO, and WBA, and IFBF titles. And being she's undefeated. Well, like I said, one of the big controversy was the first fight between her and Passoon. Many believe that fight should have went as either a split decision towards Passoon's favor, or they could have made it a draw. But besides, as you know, Katie Taylor fought in the UK. She's like Anthony Joshua. As you know, Eddie Hearn manages both Taylor and Joshua, and he fights mostly his fighters out of UK. As you know, with the restrictions over in Europe, where there's no travel, is a big restricted travel ban for European citizens of the UE to travel to the United States. More likely, the fight's going to happen somewhere in the UK. As you know, Taylor is Irish, and she's a citizen of the UK. And being Gutierrez from Spain, they might either have to fight in Spain or in somewhere in England. But like I said, the fight that should really have happened, that should happen, is Katie Taylor versus Amanda Real Deal Serrano. Now, Serrano last fought last year when she fought Heather the Heat Harden. And like I said before earlier, that the fight was supposed to have been planned for this summer, but because Eddie Hearn did not want to put up the extra money for Amanda's travel expenses and for her to make house in UK, the fight was canceled. And like I say, women boxing is still going to destruct. Women don't get as much money compared to the men. And that's the sad part about it. Plus, they get shorter rounds. 2 minutes is not enough. I've been watching boxing since I was a kid, and I'm getting into women boxing in about the early 90s during the Christy Martin era. And it's just that I've seen some fights where if you had the extra minute, it would make a difference. I even talked about that. I did a video about how if that extra minute make a difference. There have been several fights in the past that if you just had that 1 minute, it would make a difference. Well, this is going to be a big fight for, probably no one will say a big fight for women's boxing. The biggest fight that came in with boxing was Jessica McCaskills versus the First Lady, Cecilia Brækhus. But this is, I think, probably be not really the biggest fight in the for the year for women's boxing. We're still waiting on Claressa Shields, her next opponent. And now with Brækhus losing her title to Jessica McCaskills, that's kind of left in the air right now what she's going to do next. But there's also talk that possibly that Jessica McCaskills might fight Katie Taylor once she defeats his opponent, more likely next year. As you know, this fight's gonna come up in November. So Like I said, this could go, like I said, either way. Maybe this might be the opponent that finally defeats Katie Taylor. Not give her first O. Make her lose her O. But like I said, this fight is coming up again in November the 14th. And like I said, more likely it won't get as much attention, but it is still a good sign that women boxing get a front seat. It's your man, Ray George page. Like, don't subscribe, don't subscribe. I'm out.